Creative nonfiction that I will be analyzing today is called Citizen Khan, and it is by Kathryn Shulz, who writes for The New Yorker. What is the thesis or main point of the article? The article's thesis interestingly comes at the very end and can be described as that despite being a pluralist nation from the very beginning, the acceptance of foreign-borns into the American society has always been a taxing task for the nation. This part of the article sums this up pretty well. Shulz argues that this could have been due to illiteracy and lack of awareness back in the day, where the naturalization policies in order to become a citizen explicitly stated absurd things, such as naturalization of Chinamen is prohibited. However, she provides evidence that the issue is as pertinent as it was in 1909, but now has a different tone. Foreign-borns initially were condemned based on their color, but now, in 2017, foreign-borns are condemned and excluded and marginalized because of their religion, as expressed by Kathryn here. Now, what attitude does the author have towards her subject? I believe that Kathryn's attitude is fairly neutral. She refrains from glorifying the main character or pitying or sympathizing with him for most part of the article, such as here, the use of "like many immigrants" generalizes the act of generosity that Khan committed, which was to build wells and mosques in areas where travelers would otherwise have no water to drink and nowhere to pray. By saying "like many immigrants," she creates an impartial tone and generalizes it. However, there are instances where she fails to stay impartial, as an exception to her usual tone. Deviating from her usual impartial narrative, Shulz makes a very strong, powerful statement, which can be considered as the crux of her article in one line. She dramatizes the death of Khan by saying, "Zarif Khan died in the dirt in a place as important to his life as any other, the road out of town." This invokes a sense of empathy in the reader and connects the article to the point of citizenship, identity, and belonging. Shulz's frequent references to dates, times, people, locations makes the audience trust her authority in telling the truth, such as all these instances that I highlighted from the article. However, the strongest aspect, I believe, is her admittance that there lies some ambiguity around the dates and times. For example, here she says that any information that circulated about him was largely rumor and often wrong. Instead of going around and making up dates to improve her credibility, she admits that there is some ambiguity in her work around dates and times. Now, what interpretive lenses did I become aware of? Shamefully, I agreed that some words such as Citizen Khan, Bara, Pakistan, San Francisco, and Bibi Fatma Khan made me aware of my biases. Now, what was the effect of these biases and how did they affect my interpretation? Citizen Khan is a comic British sitcom, and from the very start, once I read the article's title, which is Citizen Khan, I had a sort of preconception or a notion about what the article was going to be, perhaps a comic take on different instances. Furthermore, every instance of Bara in Pakistan forced me to pay more attention. This is because I am from Pakistan, specifically because I am from the very same area as Khan, Bara. This made me aware of an attentional bias, specifically selective attention, where at every mention of Pakistan or Bara, I would pay more attention and be uber critical of Shulz's writing, because that is where I'm from. And then, the mention of Bibi Fatma Khan. As a young girl of 15 being married to a significantly older man of 70, I was reading this and I was consciously aware that this was not as problematic to me as it should be, shamefully. It's because I'm from the same region, and it's fairly normal of this to happen there. Moving on, was I able to mitigate these effects on my interpretation? I don't think so. I was aware of my biases but had a hard time mitigating them. I learned something about the context. I learned that Shulz is a Rongologist and has given a TED Talk. This made me improve. This knowledge of the context made me trust her credibility more, because now I think that she would understand her biases, be aware of them, and be aware of instances where she went wrong. Thank you so much, Professor, for watching.